My name's Jeff. I'm with the Lords of War. I'm going to be doing a Thousand Suns faction focus. What really draws me to Thousand Suns is obviously their psychic superiority. Their smites don't degrade for every one that you use. And Zangors, amongst all the other demons for the most part, I'd say they can hold their own. They have chainswords with -1 AP, which makes them better than most. You can have the capacity to make them fight more than once. And using Thousand Suns Demon Princes, they're very mobile. They're terrific in close combat, as well as they pack a psychic punch. They can cast 2 powers per turn versus 1, like all of the others. That includes Smite, Warp Time, which makes them move twice. So it allows them to move as though it's the movement phase. What I feel they lack is shooting. They don't have any units that can really pack a punch. Chaos Predators are lackluster, so I like to support them with Halverins. Most other units in Thousand Suns aren't very good except for Zangors, and Demon Princes, as well as Ahriman is a huge staple with his bonus to his psychic and being able to cast and deny 3 powers a turn.
What about Magnus?
Magnus is a huge point sink. With the abundance of knights when you're playing, most everybody will bring something big enough to kill a knight. So Magnus being lower toughness and less wounds than a knight makes him an easy target, although he can have a 3-up invul save. He has to, if he doesn't go first, he's just sitting out there as a big target. I've used him many times, but I think you get more bang for your buck using, you can get almost 3 Demon Princes for the same price as Magnus.
What about the Lord of Change?
Haven't used him in 8th edition because he's just way too many points for what he can do. He's kind of a baby Magnus in 8th edition for 40k.
And then like Skyfires, what's the benefit if you're to throw Skyfires in there?
I played around with Skyfires for a while because if you use a Zangor Shaman and then you give them +1 to hit, they auto wound on 4s, I believe is what it is. Yes. And then they hit on 2s. So you're ignoring toughness in some instances, but they're a 2 wound base. They're kind of expensive. They're very mobile, which is nice, but they're just like any other 2 wound model. They're really easy to kill with D3 damage weapons, and there's a lot of 2 damage weapons just like Terminators suffer from. And they're only toughness 4 versus 5 like Terminators. No, that's only some. Never mind. But it's just the stigma that 2 wound models have right now is they're overcosted for what they are.
So with the Khorne Berserkers, you have several units of those in your army that you played. Can you tell us a little bit about why you chose them?
I choose Khorne Berserkers because they're strength 5 base. They fight twice in close combat with 3 command points. They can fight a 3rd time. And they just have an absolutely absurd amount of attacks. They have 2 attacks base. They get 1 for the charge for World Eaters, and then they get an additional 1 for a chainsword. So that's 4 attacks per model, 5 attacks for the champion. And I run them in squads of 9 with either an Exalted Champion to reroll all failed hits, or a Dark Apostle to reroll all failed wounds.
What about the Renegade packet that you guys are playing?
I think the Renegade packet is very detailed. You have to learn how each one flows, because some of them are worded at the end of the battle round, at the end of the turn. You have to focus on not just the beginning of the game, but you have to study your next turn and the turn after as you're making moves to try and control the board as much as you can, which is why low model count armies suffer, because they don't have the board control that high model count armies do, like Guard and Black Legion.
So why didn't you go with any sort of tanks or anything in your army?
They just for Thousand Suns, Chaos Predators and Vindicators aren't really worth the points. They have the same like kill shots and whatever stratagems I believe that the Imperium does, I believe. But they aren't point efficient. And when I build lists, I focus highly on what I feel is the most bang for your buck as far as point for point what it can be. Reason being why I go with Khorne Berserkers over, say, Bloodletters is they can attack twice. Yeah, they don't have an invulnerable save like Bloodletters do, but I think the aspect of being able to fight more than once outweighs the negative.
So when you build lists, do you build it with the idea of playing in a tournament specifically,
Yes.
or do you play test them and then decide, okay, this is the one?
I'll build lists of a plethora of models to kind of see what works or what I feel has the chance to do more, but most of my lists are geared towards tournament play. This was a prep game for SpringCon, which is May 18th, which is put on by the Renegade Open. It's at the State Fairgrounds, I do believe, again this year. Thank you for coming for the Arctic Horde channel. Like and subscribe. You can look at the other link at the links below, and have a great night.